Hey everybody, welcome back to this week's update. So I'm in the home stretch of the power windows and putting it all back together again. I have the rear door panels on, ash wells, all that crap. I had to make a slight modification on that side. I guess I can walk over there and show you, but what I noticed was there's a bolt on the top that is extremely close to the interior panel. Should have brought a light with me, but you get the idea. It's right there. You see that bolt right there? It was, 3/8 inch sticking out, so it was rubbing the door panel when you put it on. And I was afraid over time it was going to, cut through the interior panel. So I just cut it flush with a Sawzall. I got to do the same on the other side. Just, stupid little things like that you have to keep an eye on because it'll, ruin the whole job. I mean, if it bounded up enough, it could pull this panel back and forth or whatever. So I got to do the other side. Getting the windows to go up and down once all the door panels are on was tough because I don't know if these window fuzzies are old or if they're just really stiffer rubber than stock, but they really grab the glass. So I had to trim them a little bit so they still seal, but they let up their grip on the glass, if you want to call it that. I mean, realistically, I don't drive my cars in the rain intentionally. I usually either hand wash them very gently or I just use like a spray detailer to clean them. So the car's not going to be immersed in a downpour anytime soon. So I'm not really concerned, even if the glass doesn't seal like it's supposed to. I'm sure it'll be fine. Anyway, I turned my attention to this door panel. I got it all on. But as usual, there's always problems. This cup right here, bezel, whatever you want to call it. My buddy gave me one with the car, but it was the wrong color. It was like a mustard color. So I had to clean it up and paint it. And I found a SEM, they call it trim black. It matches the interior really well. It's like a very dull gloss or a very, bright flat, whatever you want to call it. But it matches the door panels really well. I mean, I know the camera is deceiving, but it's almost dead on. But as usual, nothing fits quite right. You grab the light so you can see. But I don't know if you can see very well, but in the back of the door handle, it was hitting. I had to relieve the panel with I had to cut like a half moon shape because the handle lever was hitting it. So, this was sticking up a little like that, but this wouldn't lay in flush. And these don't fit very well anyway. I had to heat it up with a heat gun, try to get this gap down. I mean, no one's going to see it, but it pisses me off. I like things that fit really well. And there's a recess this fits into. So I did the best I could. I mean, it's still out a little bit in this corner, but there's no screw hole up here, so you can't pull it in. And, this door panel, the way they're made, it's a plastic backing. Then you got the foam, then you got this outer finish. So when you run the screws in, there's no clips or anything. The screws just go through the plastic backing. I mean, I guess you could run them all the way to the door steel if you wanted to, but that's a little extreme. But up here, it's just foam. There's no plastic that I saw. So I really shouldn't screw into it. I mean, I could put a screw in here and pull it in nice and tight, but I think you're asking for trouble if you do that. So I heated it up a bunch of times, got it to fit better, and I guess I'm going to have to call it a victory there. This window switch gave me a lot of trouble, believe it or not. It's got a metal framework that fits in the door panel, and then there's a little metal piece that goes around the switch itself that locks into that piece. So you can put a screwdriver in or whatever, a tool, and pop it out. And the new reproduction switch I bought, the harness rather, the reproduction harness, it's a nice flat plug that goes in the back of the switch and it screws to hold it together. And the wires come out right here. So when you go to put this assembly in, this corner is kind of tight because it's a really thick, these panels are really thick. They're probably 3/4 inch thick at this, flat area. And the, can't clear my throat today, sorry. So it wouldn't all lay in right. Basically, when I pushed this thing in, the plug had enough tension on it that would fall off the back of the switch. So I kept losing continuity to the switch. So I had to get creative, and I tried duct taping the plug to the switch, which is Bush League, but it can't fall off in the door. That sucks. It's too thick. So I used packing tape. I have my packet tape gun right there. It's very thin, it's very strong. Just to, keep the plug on the switch as you push it in the door. And it worked great. It's in there, it works fine now. So that took a little doing to get done. These grabs, the screws were mismatched. I don't know what they're supposed to be, but I had one long one and one incredibly long one. And they fit a little bit loosey-goosey. So I had bought some 1/4-inch coarse thread screws, like Master Car. I bought a bunch of stuff. The shotgun approach, if you want to call it that. They're just a really heavy black screw. They fit perfect. They're a good length. Problem is the head's too big. The head is like 0.450, so it's under a 1/2 inch, but it's up there. And those screws are like a 375, 3/8 head. So I had to throw them in the lathe and machine them down so they fit in my grab holes, what do you call these things? Door grabs. I mean, it's just stuff like that. Just bogs you down, takes time. Before I started this Odyssey, I didn't know they were 375 holes, so now I know. And the final thing that was confounding me was my power window relay. I bought a reproduction relay. It's right there. And they're like, $38, $39, whatever. I never had the original relay. And what I noticed when I first got the car together, when I was testing the windows, was it seemed like the power windows wouldn't work until you turn the key on for like 30 seconds. So I thought maybe that the relay was getting stuck or whatever. And then the other day when I was messing with the windows, finishing them up, I noticed that the windows would only work with the key off. Once I rang the circuit out, what I found was with the key off, you had power to the relay, power to the load side, and the trigger side acted as a ground. The way this relay works is this one right here, I believe that is the hot in. It's a constant hot. It comes from there's a little tiny breaker that powers the top and it powers the power windows. That's always live. It's a 30 amp breaker. It's constantly live. That one goes here, I believe. And then one of these is the load. I think it might be this one. And this one is the trigger wire. The way the trigger wire works, you turn the key on, it pulls the relay in, powers a circuit, and you have power windows. So when you turn the key off, the windows don't work. Well, what mine was doing was when you turn the key on, the trigger wire got hot and that opened the relay. The exact opposite I was supposed to work. All that's in here is a coil. It's just a coil and a set of contact points. See them right there? Click, 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 click. So what mine was doing was with the key on, they went open. With the key off, they went closed. This relay closes with ground instead of closing with power. And because the accessory circuit, that's the terminal that the trigger wire to the relay comes from, it goes to the ignition switch. Evidently, that terminal on the ignition switch goes ground when the switch is turned off, like right now with the key off. If I put a hot wire to it, it goes to ground. I checked it with a continuity tester with a voltmeter and a test light, all that crap. And anyway, so it must be back feeding to the ignition switch. It's nothing I did. I mean, I bought a harness, I plugged it in, I went on my merry way. It's nothing I did. So my friend, the electrical engineer, said, yeah, that doesn't sound right. What you got to do is just get a fog light relay and wire that in, because that has hot, it has ground, it has load, and it has trigger. So I happen to have it in my basement. I stuck it in the car, and it works fine. It works perfect. I plug the trigger side of it into the fuse box. It's the accessory terminal. It says ACC. That's powered up with the key on. That's all it does. It's powerful, like the radio and stuff like that. It works fine off that terminal. So even though I know that terminal goes to ground when the key is off, it doesn't matter to this relay. It doesn't care. Whereas this one, it does care. So the last thing I did was I bought a brand new GM relay. I found it on eBay. I ended up paying like $89 for this thing. Plus shipping. It was like $94 with shipping, tax, all that crap, which hurts. And it's, for you purists out there, it's a 7723426. That is a stock power window relay. Or I think it's for power seat also. That is brand new NOS GM. I'm going to put that in a second and see if it works. If it doesn't, I'm going to say the hell with it and leave the fog light relay in. It does everything I want it to do. It has a screw to mount it to the chassis. What else am I going to do? I'm not going to play with this thing forever. I want it to work. So let's see if that one works, and we'll check right back in. Okay, the new relay works. Right now the key's off. Doesn't work. Turn the key on. You'll probably hear it go click. Yeah, hear it click. Windows work. Yay, everything works. So, here's the trick. You got to ground it. It didn't work till I grounded it. And you can hear it opening and closing. Yeah. The other relay I had screwed to the proper location in the car, so that should have completed the ground. For the hell of it, I will plug it back in and I will ground it to make sure I didn't mislead myself. But I don't think that relay functions correctly. I'll find out. I could be wrong, but I'll find out. Stand by. Now this relay works with the key off. You hear the window, and you can see the key's off. You turn the key on, and it does not work. No uppy downy. So let's put a ground to it for the hell of it. All right, I put the case back on. I put a ground wire to it, and it does not work. I need another hand to show you. Well, I'll just do it with this one. Screw it. Nothing. Key is on, and it does not work. No uppy downy. If I take the ground away, I'm sure it's gonna work. Key off. Yeah. So that relay is messed up. Something's wrong with it. So that's that. I'm gonna take it out, put the OEM relay in, make sure it's grounded to the chassis of the car, and I should be on my merry way. All right, the relay is mounted back up in this little hidey hole up there in the corner of the cowl area of the car. And if I turn the key on, right now the key's off. Windows don't work, as they should not, I guess, or should. Turn the key on, and hear it go click. The windows work. Yay! And you can hear this thing go click. Hear it? Man, that's some authority in that thing. So there you go. You know, stupid thing I spent way too much time figuring out, but boy, oh boy. You know, you think you'd buy this aftermarket relay, a reproduction relay, and it would work fine, but nuh-uh. So let me continue on the chase here. I got to cut that bolt on the top iron behind me. I got to put this door panel back on. Can't wait to see how much fun I'm going to have over there, but it's just slow going, guys. You know, this stuff takes so long to do sometimes. It's so frustrating, but like I keep saying, you know, eventually you get there. It's just, boy, oh boy, the climb sometimes is, I don't know, it's frustrating. So there's my struggle for this week. So I have this door all done now. This one I got to screw around a little bit with that bolt. That side's done. My fold-down back seat, I decided to bite the bullet and bring it to an upholstery guy to let him massage that upper corner so it matches the original style. Hopefully does a really good job on it. It's going to be cheap. He said it'd be between 150 and 200 bucks, depending how much time he puts into it, which, whatever. You know, I was going to just do it myself and hack it together, but I really want it to look nice. So that's where I stand right now. I ran speaker wires, one on this side, two on that side. It's got 6x9 holes in the back. My buddy cut in to put speakers in the car a million years ago, so I will finish that project up for him. I ran a second wire on that side because I figured I might put a sub in the trunk and, lay the wires in now. I got the rugs and everything interior apart, so we'll see. I'm not really an audiophile. That is one of my failings. I'm not that good with matching stereo components. I know it's like picking a camshaft and the proper head flow and the proper compression ratio of your engine to make it, run in harmony, but I just don't speak stereo that well, so I'll screw around with that and see where it gets me. So that's it. That's all for this week. I hope you enjoyed watching my misery, but maybe you learned something. I don't know. I guess the one thing I can tell you this week is if you have power windows in your Camaro or Firebird or old GM, do yourself a favor and buy the original relay. Spend the money. It's worth it. I mean, I don't know where it's buried in your car, but this thing, it's inside that kick panel, and they are a bear to get off. So you want it to work reliably for a long, long time. So I don't want to screw around. So yeah, buy the original GM one, and it's going to be grounded. That relay has got to be grounded. It will not work. So that's all. Thanks for watching. I will talk to you guys later.